Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Aufgerissen und gespielt. As you can see on the playmat, we are today doing another Magic the Gathering content videos. This time it's a Commander DeckTech, and this Commander DeckTech is about Evelyn the Covetous. That's the English version. I have the German Commander, as you can see here, and she has flash, and every time Evelyn the Covetous or another vampire under my control comes into the play, I can put the top card of the bibliothèque of every player, a collection counter on it, and one time per turn I can cast, let's say, this card from the exile where it was put with this collection counter. Can use every mana as it's like the commander we are having for. So literally, like, we are playing vampires, we are putting away from other decks the cards from the top, and when we are going to play literally like our opponent's decks to our favor. That's what we are doing here. So it's a bit similar to, I think this command was called Yevela, but to be honest, like, this one is a bit more cool from my perspective. I can cast it with flash from my command zone, and every time for every vampire which is like coming into the game, we are going to have value, and by the way, value. We have a different type of approach here. Like, it's not like the normal stuff. As you can see, I'm already putting in here lands, which means like we need a lot of lands. Watery Grave, Volderen Estate, for example, for blood tokens. We have a Yurborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. When we come along with Steam Vents, we need, as you can see, we have a 3-color commander right now, so we have everyone thing around. Exotic Orc card makes sense because I will be surely hitting something from your own color scheme. If, as I said, 3 colors, it's very much, let's say, in the possibility that we are going to be more and more with our colors around. We have a command tower, we have a Cavern of Souls. Guess what we are doing here? We are telling, of course, vampires make sense in this case. So literally like, and as I said, lots of mana. Cable coffers is a good thing because like we, for every swamp we can have, you see where was this Yurborg. You know where we are heading for. Lots of mana. I did put in a Badlands. If you don't own this card, just take in either like Swamp or Mountain, or similar card which is like giving you both, but is not slowing down your deck, because literally, as you can see, we have 5 mana to go for our commander, so we need fast mana to be where we should be. Then we have Bloodstained Mire, Blood Crypt, Ancient Tomb. Again, we need mana. Scavenger Grounds, Prismatic Vista, Polluted Delta, Path of Ancestry. It's we can put in any color our commander's color's identity is, and we can then scry one if you bring in a creature which is like sharing one of these things. Vampire makes sense in this case here. Luxury Suite, Fabled Passage, Haunted Ridge, Scalding Tarn. We have also a Phyrexian Tower to make some sort of, let's say, fast mana too. Morphic Pool, Shipwreck March, Underground. See, if you don't have this card, because it's of course expensive, please substitute for a different one which you own in your collection. I'm not expecting everyone like to have all these super expensive cards in their deck. Tekanuma, Abandoned Mire, Sokensa, Crucible of Defiance, and we have a Field of the Dead. So it's like we can also bring in a lot of zombies on turn on the extra part. As you can see, we have already like a lot of lands, which is like literally going for Field of the Dead. And of course, we're having like all the standard lands with Island, Mountain, Snowy Mountain, Snowy Swamp, swamp, and swamp. So it's like we have a lot of chances to use this to our best if we are coming to mid to late end game. After this, we will be going, of course, for our vampires. Sanctum Seeker, and this is also very cool because every time a vampire attacks, each, not one, but each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's nice. This is a small vampire of the Dire Moon, early to cast, Death Touch, Lifelink, very cool for us too. Sack Outlet with Viscerious here. Sacrifice creatures, Scry 1, Twilight Prophet flying, Askant, and City's Blessing stuff around. Sanguine Spy, Menace, and Lifelink. We have a lot of vampires, as you can see. We can sacrifice another creature to take a look at the top card of our library, and then we can put this card into our graveyard. And at the beginning of our end step, if there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard, you may pay 2 life. If you do, we can draw a card again. Lord Xander, the Collector. When Lord Xander enters the battlefield, target opponent discards half the higher cards in their hands, rounded down. It's a bit for these collectors, you know, like we have always like someone who's like drawing really many cards, so it has a big hand size. If you can cut this down a bit, you are very doing him not quite a favor, but you're doing the table a favor. And if Lord Xander attacks, defending player mills half of the library, rounded down 2. So literally like we are like depleting our guys. Kalitas, Traitor of Geth, Lifelink, non-Croton teeth and opponent controls would be die. Instead, exiled card and put a black zombie creature, so we are doing a bit more zombies. We can sacrifice vampire zombie cards to put a +1/+1 count on Kalitas, so it works well with what we are having both on our schemes here. Commander, Glamour Thief, Haste. We can add 3 colors. Spend this mana only to cast instant or sorcery spells where we come later for. Callous Blood Mage. So we are playing a lot of more newer cards in this deck, as you can see, and we can put in like creature 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Yippee-yay. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Exile target player's library. Bloodline Keeper, flying. Put up 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Also very nice. So we are generating with this guy more vampires. Vampires comes in. Everyone puts a card into exile. We gain something from it. Falconrath, Pitfighter. Discard a card, sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards, and it's only like if it's our opponent's turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, sorry. Dust Legion, Zealot, it's also very cool because he enters, we draw a card and we draw a life, but we need some card to draw in this deck too, and we have, like as you could see already, like vampires in there who's like giving us through life thing a bit better opportunity to be staying on the track with life as well. This one has Menace, and if it's entering, if an opponent lost life, you put to 1/+1 count on each other vampire you control, so we are pumping all the stuff up. And as long as an opponent lost life this turn, each other vampire you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1. So we are getting tough guys in here. Falconrath, we have this 2 times, sorry, need to remove this. You got me here. Cool. Then we have Sisters of the Undead. Sisters of the Undead, this is like normally Olivia Waldron from the set. This is just like the extra cards. It's original Crimson Bride, as you can see. But I like this artwork very much. Flying Haste, whenever Olivia Crimson Black attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and attacking it gains. When you don't control legendary vampire, exile this creature. Vampire Sociality, we have Florian, Voldaren, Skyen, First Strike, Vampire. You see where we are going through Bloodline, Necromancer, Skin of Opulence, all the new cards. Midnight Arsonist. And as you can see, it's like not always like, for example, that we are using only rares and mythics. So we are just like doing a really deck which is like quite an okay from the price point. Attacking vampires you control have Death Touch and Lifelink. This makes sense. If a vampire dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Card draw engine and life gain, something we definitely need because life is a resource when you're black, so use it. What? Discard a card. In this case, Malakir Blood Witch we have here and the Blood Artist. So also this is very cool because whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. Yeah, we have a lot of vampires, there will be a lot of creatures, we have sack outlets, so guess what we can do here. Cordial Vampire. Or another creature dies, put +1/+1 on each other vampire we control. Captivating Vampire, also to pump up our vampires. Where this lady is, which I was talking about more early on, Yelevan from the old set, from the old Commander set. And she's literally like doing nearly the same as Evelyn, but Evelyn's a bit newer, and I think it's a bit more like this you normally think I would think you'd build like as a storm build possibly, which is like possibly normal for this. If you have a possible Yeleva build for me, I'm interested. Just drop me a message in the channel, tell me how your Yeleva looks like. I'm definitely interested in this. Indulgent Aristocrat lifelink, as I said, and amazing Predator. Here, Vampire Dragon in this case. I use this till death, to be honest, like on the MTGA. So on I'm sometimes playing there too, but this was like one of my most favorite cards. So against indestructible as soon as we can sacrifice different creature. So instance, you remember we have something to bring back to the table. So Tainted Indulgence, draw 2 cards, discard a card if you're not having 5 or more manual values about main cards in there. Chaos Warp, we need to protect our lady. Deadly Dispute, we can sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. We have a Cyclonic Rift in there. Swan Song, your blue color in there, so use a bit what you can have on counters. Fake Your Own Death. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0. And when this dies, return it onto the battlefield under its owner's control. You create a treasure trade token. Very cool. Someone attacking something from us. You want to flicker something? Let's just go ahead. We can do this. Reality shifts also. We can manifest something, and to be honest, like we get a 2/2 creature face down, whatever it is. Resculpt, exile target artifact or creature. If you can't handle a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, then you possibly play the wrong deck. Kind with dominance, choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. That's nearly a board wipe for us because we play vampires, by the way, we play vampires and vampires, for example. So stick to this topic, everything will be good. All your opponents possibly not playing vampires, so they will have nothing. And I repeat, in this case, nothing left on the board. We can add 1 to mana for each tapped land your opponents control, also very nice. If you're playing against 3, there will be a lot of mana possible in this case. Spiteful Repossession deals damage to each opponent who controls more lands than you, equal to the difference. Someone comes up with some sort of funny things alongside we can do something there. Olivia's Wrath, each non-vampire creature gets -X until end of turn. The X is the number of vampires. Also, this is literally like a board wipe. Patriarch's Bidding. Each player chooses a creature type. Each player returns all creature cards of a type chosen this way from his or her graveyard to play. We are playing, as you might remember, a tribalized deck, so our choice will always bring back a lot of creatures. I don't think normally that other opponents of yours will be playing tribal decks too, so you will be the one in charge of this. Academe Awakening, return from your graveyard to the battlefield and of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or Lex. Also, this brings things back. I actually need to buy this card. Didn't have this in my collection. For this deck, I needed it. As an additional cost to cast New Blood, tap and untap vampire you control. Gain control of target creature. Change the text of that creature by replacing all instances of one creature's type with vampire. So if you are not if someone has the great idea Elish Non will be a vampire. Oh, nice. Some Eldrazi's who are like not protected with shrouds or something like hexproof will be vampires. And we can play, we use them. We use our opponent's creatures in this case. But by the way, it also makes sense if we are, for example, like having played a lot of cards from our opponents who are of course not vampire, then put this in and one of our board wipes. Amazing. Mana fixing. Demon Signet makes sense in this part too. We need mana, as I said, we need a Mind Stone. In this case, we also need an Izzet Signet in this case. Signets, Arcane of course too. And the last one missing is of course the Rector's Variation. I have a Felver Stone in here too, so it's like a bit like getting a lot of other stuff from our mana base in this case. Cursed Mirror. It also brings us a red, and if it's entering the battlefield, it may have become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until the end of turn, except it has haste. Until end of turn, it gets it that it betrays. Ooh, it becomes a copy of any. So we are not targeting something. It just gets a copy. So someone has some funny thing like we are milling 20 cards. It's Eldrazi called. You possibly have let them eat their own meat. Glittering Stockpile. Adds a red, put a stash counter on it, and if we have sacrifice it, we can get X, and X is the number of course stash counters on it. You can also play a Midnight Clock in this, makes sense. When you add a blue, put an hour counter, and at the beginning of each upkeep, put an hour counter on midnight. When the 12-hour counter is put, shuffle your hand, graveyard into your library, draw 7 cards and exile it. So we are getting back all our stuff over and over again. Makes sense too. Swiftwood Boots, Hexproof and haste, and a Vedalken Orrery makes sense too, because we can play non-land cards anytime we can play an instant. That's including, by the way, already the ones from our opponents in their exile. That makes so much fun you can't imagine. We are coming to the last part. We are not playing Planeswalkers, as I said already, or not. But we have enchantments. The Leyline of Anticipation makes sense here. If it's in our opening hand, we can put it on the battlefield. We can cast spells as well. We have Flash. That also includes when this, what I just said with the Vidalcan Orrery. So I'm doing the same thing there. Card draw, Rhystic Study. We play blue as well. We have a black market there too. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter. And at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add black to your mana pool for each charge counter on it. Tell me how often or how many mana did you get from this already? Because like us, normally as I can rethink or thinking backwards, in our group, this didn't survive one round on the table. So tell me your personal records, how many rounds, how many charge counters I'm in. Kindred Discovery, enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. By vampire, you can't do anything wrong. And Reflections of Lidiara, as enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell, we can copy this spell. So we copy our commander. No, it doesn't make sense because she's legendary. We copy our Vampire Visceras here, 2 of this, Vampire Moon, Sanctum Seeker. Just be on the bright side of life. That's our deck. Evelyn the Covetous. I think we are doing quite well here. Means we have a good mana base, we have a lot of things we can put to the table, and the not so bad thing is we can still steal a lot of things from our opponent's deck, make them ours, and enjoy what they are having. And we can still make this to our own vampires. So very cool. If you like this video, just Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Please be so kind. If you played Yelvilla, I'm in for deck techs about them. If you have a cool deck, just let me know. Drop me a link in the description or in my mail. Don't forget like about our black market thing. As I said already, like our group, it didn't make a round, so the guy who's playing this didn't get anything from it. But perhaps in your group this is different. I'd like to see how the records you have. Okay, see you next time. Enjoy your days. Hope you enjoyed these videos, and I would say see you until next time. Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao ciao.